Crumbs here. Since my last gas farm stopped working because magma cubes no longer spawn in minecarts, I gotta go ahead and finally build a new one. I never did collect a lot of tiers, so came up with this idea real quick and threw it together. I did initially want to add another layer to make it more of a bowl, just because I thought the idea was kind of funny. This is already way more than fast enough. I just decided I'd leave it at this. For this, I only have just a few. Oh, let's not do that. I have just a few minecarts sitting at this end and then some at the other side. For some of the collection, I have some item filters and just basic loaders. I have an input for shulker boxes here, and then they end up in these chests here. I guess I've cleared it out since I used it last time. So 2 steps like this, and then down here below, I built it a bit close to the bedrock. Didn't have a lot of space, and I just decided to keep it simple. Just used a whole bunch of hoppers. Just have them directly feeding into a whole bunch of just individual shulker boxes. Oh, yeah. So I have plenty. Don't really have a use for this many. It does feel a little cheap that you get as much as you do from piglin bartering. Oh, and I finally actually started to use some of the wither roses I have. But, well, that's what it is. It's nice to be able to just have the resources to execute a project like this. Next, heading back to spawn. So this was my gas farm. However, anything that gets caught in the minecarts now no longer despawns, so it'll fill up with magma cubes. This wasn't a problem before when they would still despawn. Yeah, and for this one I just AFK way above there, and the gas sweepers would push everything off the edges. The gas would get caught in the minecarts, and then they'd suffocate in the blocks. And only occasionally other mobs would get across, mostly magma cubes, but since they used to despawn it wasn't a problem. And everything else would just get dropped off the edge down towards the bedrock, and since they were just far enough away from the player's AFK spot, they would just disappear. So I already saw this in my last video, because I was going back here through spawn with like the item management system. This is just a basic shulker shell farm. Let's take a look at the overworld real quick. So this basic farm design is by IanXO4. I'll leave a link in the description. There's basically a shulker in here. You have some snow golems below him. They're shooting snowballs at him, and then the shulker shoots. Oh, hello, friends. As I was saying, yep, he's got some snow golems below him. They shoot him with snowballs, which don't do damage, but he then tries to hit him with those little balls. They go up in the air, or they go up into a water stream that's flowing downwards. They get pushed back into him, and only hit the top of the shell when it's open, when he can duplicate himself, basically. He jumps to one of the glass layers, and then as soon as he opens his shell, he automatically gets transported back into the Nether. And here I have just a basic quick thing from on-off. So this opens or closes an iron trapdoor between the shulker and the snow golems. And this here, the shulker loading. Some of the stairs right there get pulled back to leave a spot, so I can drop down new shulkers onto the activator rail there. They pushed over, and then I flip the switch again to push them into the location. On this side, the shulkers come in. Oh, we got a phantom. Nice. The shulkers come in through here. They will automatically transport themselves over the sea lanterns here. When they open up, they'll hit the string in front of the observers, and then they'll get pushed over onto the wither roses to die. And then I have also here, I'll show a quick time lapse of me loading this, because occasionally the one in the overworld does disappear. So I have a few shulkers sitting here in minecarts ready to go to reload. And basically, I just hit a button behind them. They transport into the overworld. It's an overworld. I try to get there quickly and push them in. Otherwise, I might transport onto one of the glass blocks. But I push them in as soon as I can. Then I go back to the nether side. I flip this switch down a little ladder of redstone torches to open up a trapdoor, which makes a surface that they can teleport to, and I just send a new minecart down to pick them up and reload the system. This has been fine so far, but I have once needed to use, I think all 3, or at least 2 of them. Yeah, I think I needed to use just two of them to get it to work again, because I didn't go over quickly enough. So I should probably store a couple more, but this works fine. It hasn't been a problem doing it manually. I'm just storing a lot of these here currently. I think I have enough for something like 350 million items. Might last me a while. I figured I'd build a nice decorative structure for it. It's not complete yet. I want to... Oh. I'm going to update to where you get the different frog lights, whatever. I want to add another layer in with possibly the purple frog lights and see how that looks. This is just too thick. Yeah, so just 2 layers of glass currently. I want to add another layer with possibly some frog lamps, maybe more, to make it look a little different. But I think it looks alright so far. It's not quite done with it until I update to a new version. Sorry about the noise, I didn't realize my AC kicked on. But yeah. And I got the shulkers from my old mob switch. Back before I updated, because I had a mob cap's worth of shulkers in minecarts. They no longer count to the mob cap. So they were basically right here. So I moved them over to here. Nice little texture structure I made. And so I'm just storing these guys in here for now. So most of these are still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Huh. I'm not sure how many's in each. But yeah, so I still got a whole bunch of shulkers if I really need them. If I accidentally lose all the ones over there, I have plenty more. I still have them hooked up to flying machines, so I can just send them back. And real quick, I forgot I initially used ENX04's design for the Nether side. Then I adapted a little. Also link a video to the video Lango had, because I got inspiration from a couple different places. But I did start with ENX04's shulker shell farm. Speaking of problems with mob switches, I ended up using the farmer villager zombies to make it work. So I have just basic villager breeder, very simple one up here. I get the guys out, trade with them, and then turn them into zombies. Actually, I think I loaded them first, then turned them into zombies. Still should have guy hanging out. There he is. Oh, hello, friend. And having a mob switch right at spawn is really helpful. It's nice, in this case, for the overworld. I just move them back and forth, inside or outside the spawn chunks, using the water streams. I don't remember where I got that specific design from, but it was not my creation. Someone else came up with it. But in the Nether, it's nice just to have something you can load and unload. But ideally, I'd have something I could load or unload just directly at spawn. Unfortunately, right up here, basically 0, is where I built this old thing. It's a Lango's optimized gold farm. So if I were to put a mob switch in the Nether here at spawn, then this thing would no longer work. I like having this thing, but ultimately I would like to, it would be nicer to have a mob switch for the Nether directly here at spawn that I can just unload or load depending on whether I want it on or off. Currently I have to travel out my 1 piston bolt to another end portal to load or to turn it on or off. But having an XP farm and having a gold farm is really nice. So I figure I'll go somewhere else and set up a new gold farm. Yeah, I still use this old tunnel instead of my new system often because this is just a straight shot directly to the other side of my old main storage. And honestly, my current main storage. I haven't got the new one working yet. Alright, and here at the other side of my main storage, let's take the nice route I've made up to go check out the new location. don't remember why I don't have Optifine installed in this version, but I did recently realize that Tweakaroo has a Nether fog disable option built into it. It does have a kind of cool vibe to it with the Nether fog on. But ultimately, it's nicer to work with the Nether fog turned off. I'm kind of disoriented. It's like which direction's which. Right. So this section is actually still using the very simple fly machines. It was a little bit time intensive because there's a lot of lava to remove. Obviously, if you do the preparatory work and then use a proper world eater, it could be a bit nicer. But this with pretty limited effort still, and plenty of this time more or less AFK. This wasn't bad to clear out as much so far. As you saw in the time lapse, this section here wasn't too bad either. Again, there's a lot of individual lava pockets everywhere, which is a little bit annoying, but this worked well down to this level at the base of the main lava lakes. And the last few sections, there are a lot of like little pockets with a whole bunch of little lava things in them, but once you get through those, they're just a lot of little individual spots. And so for the last something like, what, 12, 13 layers or so, I'm just using an individual TNT module for each, and I come in between and clean up the individual spots. So I think it's just a couple weeks into this project, and I've already at the point where I can consider how exactly I want to do this. Unfortunately, this size of the perimeter is in part because down here it's all nether wastes, and I want to make just a fast gold farm. Over here, there was another fortress farm. There were a couple intersections here. Oh, and I encased a couple blaze spawners in obsidian. They seem to have survived. Yep. Hello, friend. Oh. Yeah, so I could potentially... so I do still have the nether fortress farm with the style inspired by Nembon, where I have the area around it slabbed up to spawn proof it. But I figured, yeah, if I'm going through the trouble to make a perimeter, you know, might as well put it to work. So eventually I may end up setting up a new nether fortress farm here when it's a bit faster. I honestly don't really need it. I have pretty much all the drops I need. Currently, one thing I'm short on is arrows, actually, for the coarse fruit farm, or the coarse flower farm, rather. That's the only thing I'm really running into. But, I don't know. I'm setting up a new area, a new perimeter, might as well. Currently, it's going to be 19 chunks across, and then I was just going to make it, 28 chunks north to south. But that would have put the two potential AFK positions a bit close to each other. So I'm going to go ahead and expand another 6 chunks south. So it's all going to be 19 by, what is that, 34? 19 by 34 chunks. Ow. Yeah, so I've already opened up the area so I can place TNT to open that up. Yeah, just playing around with ideas. And I've also figured I might as well collect some lava and some netherrack while I'm at it. I could use most of the netherrack to make nether brick previously, but that's now renewable, so I don't need to be doing that. Except for I'm just collecting netherrack for now. Yeah. I'm going through a lot of iron ingots. The flying machines can do a lot of work for this stuff, and all the little lava pockets I'm just using buckets to get rid of it. And I'm glad I've had iron farms going for a long time, because I'm going through a lot. And recently I've gone back and watched some of JL's old videos on the Zip Crowd server. There's both some tours and then a Let's Play. Basically, it's kind of nuts, the amount of effort they had to put in the time when they didn't have like TNT duplication glitches. They didn't even have hoppers in some of the earlier videos. Right. So it's and now just one, and right, so it literally took a whole group of people to get together to manually mine out or manually collect sand for TNT to clear out a perimeter. And here, just with a bunch of relatively simple flying machines, just one person can do the same thing. At any rate, got some good progress made here. I'm still playing around with ideas about how exactly I want to design it. If I'm doing something on this scale, then it doesn't make sense just to do something you can do above bedrock. So I end up trying to clear bedrock above and make something like kind of ridiculously fast, and just collect the iron ingots, or the gold ingots, to minimize the crafting I have to do afterwards. So if I can make it fast enough, then I can just collect the gold ingots and be good with that. And that's probably something that'd be nice to go for here. That and an XP farm. And so I'll either use this also as an XP farm, or I might end up just building one of the like portal-based zombie pigment XP farms on the overworld side here to use, so I can use it even when I have the mob switch on. And I'm having some odd issues here. I thought there was like some strongholds on the overworld side, but around these locations, like there's one, I thought there's one here and one over towards the wall, but when I actually went to the overworld side, they don't seem to exist, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Because I was hoping to find an end portal that I could use to send stuff back to spawn nice and easily, but I may have to go out a bit further. I guess, somewhat luckily, I'm not too far from my quarry. So this here is a loading setup. Oh, forgot what I was doing. This here's the loading setup for the quarry. That's pretty close, so I could just potentially use the same end portal I used for this and combine any of the farms I put in here. It's not hard to load something that close, or it's not hard to load item transportation to something that close. So I guess it'll be fine if I have to use that one. Alright, got some good progress made. It was nice to replace the gas farm that no longer worked. And hopefully when I can finally get this up and running, I'll be good to let go of my old gold farm and put a nether mob switch right there at spawn. It'd be a lot nicer. I hope y'all enjoyed, found something interesting. Oh. And take two. I hope y'all enjoyed or found something interesting, and y'all take care. Cheers.